My levels of respect for President Mahama just went up. Bad behavior. They're just not interested in the business. They just are coming for their money. Huge, because tourism is pretty much what feeds the country. Let's be honest. Hey, it's up to you. I'm not really here to convince you otherwise and say, no, please come to Ghana. Ghana does not understand competition a lot of the time. And so they're opening to push you out of your business. The Chinese are able to come, Lebanese are able to come, Indians are able to come, white people are able to come because, second of all, I can do better and I can clean up. Haven't quite nailed yet. And I'm telling you, it's customer service. You cannot be saying, I'm going to employ my family member. And I'm glad that he said it. Unless the person has the qualities to be a member of staff in your establishment, do not hire them. I'm not trying to be rude, but I want you to think about it. And it's a shame that it takes the president to have to address it before people will perhaps listen. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, today's video, I want us to... I basically want to react to a statement that was issued by President Mahama. Now, I feel like it was a very, very interesting statement, and I want to make some comments on some of the things that he said. So I want you guys to watch the clip with me, and let's talk about it.
One of the things that affects tourism in Ghana and West Africa is that our service is poor. You go to a restaurant and they think that they are doing you a favor. You go to eat and they think that you owe them, to serve you. If you go to other parts of the world, it's completely different. You are compelled to spend your money because they are all over you. Even before you finish the drink that they have given you, you are halfway. Can I bring you another drink? And if you are the shy type and things, you always say, oh, yes, yes. And you forget that you have to pay for it. And so we must improve our service delivery. Owners of services must take professionals who know how to be courteous to customers, to know that we are in this job because you've come here to eat or you've come here to do this. And so that's one of the drawbacks of our whole tourism experience. And most times you spend so much money, set up an establishment, instead of going for professionals, you go and haul your relatives from the village to come and serve people. They pay and they can't even get their change. You can't find the waiter who took your money. And when you even find them, he says, oh, we have no change. I mean, they have a certain sense of entitlement. And so until we reform all these, and it's an attitudinal problem, until we reform all these, and people who own these establishments make sure that service delivery is at near 100%, we would not be able to attract enough tourists into our country. We have a beautiful country. People come and, they just say, look, this country is good. But if you hear a lot of the feedback and you say, oh, but what is negative about it? Oh, your service is not the best. Always, that's the feedback that comes.
Okay. Now, I found this clip to be extremely interesting because, first of all, I'm going to say, my levels of respect for President Mahama just went up because, it takes a very big person to admit when there's fault within their homes, right? Not many people will. Many people will shirk the responsibility, give excuses, reasons for it. But he's tackled the problem head on and he's called it out for exactly what it is, which is something that I would say many people won't do. They'll always find an excuse as to why something is the way that they are, rather than addressing the problem head on and trying to solve it. So I have huge respect for him that he's done this. And so I want to talk about some of the things that he's raised because it's issues that I personally have had. Some of it I've spoken about on camera before, but yeah, let's talk about it. So one of the first things that he says is that, you go to some of these restaurants and they feel like they're doing you a favor. If that isn't the truth, I really don't know what it is. It is so difficult here when it comes to customer service and, trying to get really good staff for your business because they feel like they're doing you a favor. When you walk into certain establishments, it's like you're even disturbing the people. First of all, the menu. They won't have, you're better off asking them, when they give you a meal, better off asking them, okay, what do you have? Because I can guarantee you, as you go down the list, oh, we don't have that. Oh, we don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have. It's very, very irritating. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It was honestly one of the first things that really shocked me when I came to Ghana. The way that people are entitled. I'm like, you know, when it happens to you, you kind of like look around and you're like, is anybody else seeing this? Like, is this supposed to be happening, or am I just unaware about something? Have I missed something? Because that whole favor thing, you're doing me a favor, like, please, would you serve me type thing. It's irritating and it's completely uncalled for. Restaurants have to understand that when a customer comes in, they are to serve the customer. That is what the business is. The business is a service that you're giving the customer. And that's what will bring back repeat customers. But in Ghana here, they don't look at it like that. That's why I said sometimes people can be very short-minded, right? They don't have the foresight to see certain things that, you know what, if I do a really good job, this person's going to come back and perhaps they're going to recommend more people to me. But they don't think about that. They think about the short term and the money that they can get to you right in that moment. And even that, I'm going to say, you know what, that doesn't even apply. So I'm going to even scratch that. It's not even about the money that they can get from you at that moment, because sometimes service is so poor that you will get up and walk out because you just can't stand it. It's just so irritating. So he's absolutely correct when he says that they feel like they're doing you a favor, because they for sure do. You know, but I also have to balance that in saying that, you know, there are now restaurants that are popping up that do have really good staff. I've been to restaurants where the person will come and serve you, you know, they put their one hand behind their back and then they present you the menu. You know, like these little things just feel nice, right? It feels like they are there to help you. And because of that, you have an altogether better experience. So there are restaurants that are coming up like that. But I'm going to be honest with you, because, hey, I'm going to say the truth here on this channel, right? A lot of those restaurants that give you that top quality service are the ones that are going to be pricey. They're not restaurants that you would go to eat every single day. I'm not thinking about going there every single day because, you know, it's expensive. We can't eat like that. That's not the lifestyle that we have right now, you know. But if you go to some of these, you know, more reasonably priced restaurants, a lot of them do have terrible customer services. Yeah, it's just not good. But, you know, as I said, I'm trying to balance it. So I will say that there are places that are trying. And a lot of the times you have to understand as well that it's not, this is even hard to say, because I would say that it's not always 100% the restaurant's fault. Sometimes the staff members are just so poor quality. And I would say that it's not even that they haven't been given the training. Sometimes people just have bad behavior. They're just not interested in the business. They just are coming for their money. And yeah, you know, when you go to work, of course you're coming for the money. I'm not saying, oh, you're going there because you love it and so you should work for free. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying, yes, you do go because of your money, but you have to understand the reason that you have a job is because there are customers coming. If there's no customers, that restaurant is closed and there is no work for you anyway. So some of these attitudes that some of the staff have need to change, but also we have to understand that some of it does come from the top. Some of it does, because some of these restaurant owners can be very arrogant. They do feel very entitled because they feel like they have status. They have a restaurant and so they have status, and so it just makes the whole thing just go absolutely ridiculous. Now, he also mentions tourism. Now, tourism is huge because tourism is pretty much what feeds the country, let's be honest. Tourism is where Ghana gets a lot of its money from, because, as he rightly said in the video, you know, Ghana is beautiful. There are many of us here because we appreciate the beauty of that Ghana gives us, right? That Ghana presents. But it can be an off-put when we have some of these frustrations within service sectors, right? It makes it hard for us to enjoy certain experiences. And so as a tourist, when we have tourists come in and they're experiencing some of this, it puts them off. Like, I don't want to go back. I've seen it in my comment section where people have been like, well, you know, if that's how Ghana is, I'm not coming back. And it's fair for someone to say that because, hey, it's up to you. I'm not really here to convince you otherwise and say, no, please come to Ghana, because those of us out here that know the reason why we're here and we see the vision for the future and we know what Ghana could be, and we know that sometimes some of these problems we can create solutions for and make the place better. But at the same time, we have to cater to tourists. And that is for any country in any world, even in the West, right? People understand the rules of engagement here, right? If I'm going to a store, if I'm going to shop anywhere, if I'm going to a restaurant, they understand that the customer is first. I'm not saying the customer is always right. The customer is first, right? You're to cater to the customer's needs as long as it's within reason. And Ghana hasn't quite grasped that content. The thing with Ghana is that I feel like we are so used to there being such a lack of service here, right? A lack of establishments that you can go to, that people feel like, well, if I give you something that's half-hearted, it's better than nothing. Do you want it or you don't want it? But people haven't understood that the times have changed now. And so more establishments are popping up. So now there's a thing called competition. Ghana does not understand competition a lot of the time. People do not understand that if you don't do a good job, customers ain't coming to you no more because someone's giving them better. So now they're walking out from your establishment and they're going somewhere else because the service is better. They're going to have a much more memorable time at this other place. They don't want to come to your crappy service. That's what is happening. And I feel like it's kind of almost a new concept for people here. They're not really seeing that this is happening right now. There's an influx of people coming into Ghana right now and they want better. They're no longer putting up with mediocre. In fact, what is happening is that they're coming and they're seeing that it's mediocre and they're seeing that, you know what, Charlie, I can do better than that. And so they're opening to push you out of your business. They're deliberately opening businesses to teach you how to do it properly. That's what's happening. That's how we are able to come. Chinese are able to come. Lebanese are able to come. Indians are able to come. White people are able to come because they can walk in and say, well, this area, this service sector is so bad, I'm going to come and do better because you know what? First of all, it's not going to take me much to be able to do better. And second of all, I can do better and I can clean up here. And that's the truth of it. That's what they're happening. And as I said before, we can't be mad because a lot of us are craving good service. How many of us don't want to go out and visit a restaurant and have a really great experience? How many of us don't want our friends to come to Ghana and we be able to show them a really good time, take them somewhere where we don't have to be embarrassed? Nobody wants to go to a restaurant and be embarrassed by the service or how the restaurant is treating your friends and all that. Nobody wants that experience. So therefore, we're going to go to places that we know that, you know what, I know that if I go here, I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to give you an example. Places like Bella Freak. If you've ever been to Bella Freak is kind of like, I guess they do a lot of Italian cuisine. People love to go there. There is not a day of the week that Bella Freak is not booked up. That place, if you don't book a table, be prepared to stand if you can find standing space there. And it's run by a group of white Italian people. It's run by them. And they are so successful. I've watched this business for many years. And they came in and they literally hit the ground running. Because they give people what they want. They give people a good quality of service. If you see their staff are very intense and very, hey, what's the word? Very intensive. Is that the word? I can't remember. Anyway, right? They do pay you mind, right? Obviously, you know, you're going to get slips. And I'm not saying they're 100% perfect all of the time. That's not what I'm saying. But for the most part, they are very, very good at what they do. They know what the customers want and they provide a service for them. If you go in there, immediately you're going to know who your waiter or your waitress is. They're going to ask you what you want. They're going to start with your drinks. And then, you know, what do you want after that? They're going to smile. You know, if you give them the space, they're going to have jokes with you. You know, it's like that. It feels like you're walking into your friend's establishment when you go in there. They have nailed it. The ambience in there, everything is just absolutely beautiful. And people go, that place is full. But how can other restaurants that are within the same area be empty? It tells you something. They have nailed something that the other restaurants haven't quite nailed yet. And I'm telling you, it's customer service. People just want a good service. You can have restaurants that even where the food is not that great. But you know what? Because when I go there, I have such a good time. We have such a good laugh and I have such a good experience. I can even overlook the fact that the food is not 100%. I mean, it's not bad. It's okay. But, you know, there are places that I know that I can get good quality, better quality food, but the service is not going to be great. I'd rather go for the service over having crap quality that I'm going to just be angry about, and I'm not even going to enjoy my food, whether it's good or not, because of the service that I've been given. And so Bella Freak has put that, they have completely nailed it. Completely. And they are cleaning up in that place. Like I said, you cannot get a table if you don't book. That's how they are there. And it works for them. Now, the president also goes on to talk about giving a professional service, right? I've kind of touched on this, and that is the absolute truth. You cannot be saying, I'm going to employ my family member, and I'm glad that he said it, because when I say things like this in my video, right, people think, oh, you're being rude, you're being this, you're being that, like the comments that sometimes hit me, right? I'm like, but I'm only speaking the truth. Like, why are you coming for me? I'm not the one who did it. I'm just telling you what I see, right? So I'm glad that the president himself has said it. He said it. You go get your cousin, your family member from the village to come and serve, and they don't even know how to do the service properly. They don't. You have to be trained. Don't just think, somebody gives you the order and you just write it down. No, there's also an art to being a waitress or a waiter. There is an art to it, right? You have to have certain knowledge about how to receive a customer, how to take the order, how to make sure when you take the order, read it back. You know how many times I've been to a restaurant and the waiter has got the thing wrong? Either because maybe he didn't understand what I said and just wrote down what he thinks. That's a common thing here, right? People say, yes, I understand, and they don't understand what you said. So when you come here, make sure you repeat yourself 2-3 times. It's not annoying. Repeat yourself unless you want the wrong order, right? It's like you have to know how to, when a customer gives you an order, repeat it back to make sure you have the right thing, because the last thing people want is to come to your restaurant and you've given them the wrong food. It's annoying. And not only that, or everybody else's food comes and yours hasn't come. It's common here, commonplace. Everybody's food comes except 1 or 2 people. Now everybody's finished eating, now your food has come. That's not nice, is it? There's a way that, you know, your food should be handled where your food mostly comes out at the same time because you've come together as a group. And so everybody's food should come out pretty much in the same amount of time. We expect that. But here, it can come at any time. Some people, they've even had their food come so late, it's end up putting it in a takeaway bag for them to take home and eat, because now they don't even feel like everybody's eating, they're ready to go to the next place or go home or whatever. Now your food has just arrived. Is everybody supposed to sit down and watch you eat because they finished eating? It makes no sense. So we have to cut that culture of, I'm bringing my family member to come and serve. No, unless you're going to train that person, unless the person has the qualities to be a member of staff in your establishment, do not hire them. Stop hiring them. I'm not saying that nepotism is 100% wrong, but do it with sense. Use your common sense. Don't just be hiring people willy-nilly without, they don't have any experience, no skills, no something. In fact, they're even illiterate. I'm sorry. But, you know, like we can't continue to do that. You have to hire with sense, because at the end of the day, all they're going to do is pull your business down. Like, do you want to pump money into a business and have it collapse around you just because you've hired the wrong staff, because you want to pay them a little bit less? How much are you saving by paying that family member less? How much are you saving? 500 cedis a month? Okay, let's even say 1,000 cedis a month. That's ridiculous, by the way. But you save 1,000 cedis a month. But potentially what you're going to lose in business, that 1,000 cedis has been written off. What is that 1,000 cedis in the grand scheme of what you can potentially make by hiring a good member of staff? Come on now, stop. Another thing he touched on was the no change thing. That is one of my pet peeves. And I'll be honest with you, that is one of the reasons why I don't believe in honestly carrying cash. I hardly ever carry cash, because I'm like, I know if I give you cash, you're going to tell me you don't have change. I don't want to even deal with that. So for me, I'll pay with card or I pay with Momo. That is it. It's easy, you know. Even in Ubers, I barely, in fact, I could probably even count on one hand the amount of times I've ever paid for an Uber with cash. In fact, I think even 5 times is too many times. I can't say that, maybe twice. Because I won't do it. I won't do it because I know exactly the story that's coming. Oh, we don't have change. And then it's like they look at you like it's your problem. Can you help us? You solve the problem. You're the one with the money and you have to pay the bill. So you need to figure it out. You know, they expect you to go and look for the change. Like, come on now. If you're a business, one of the first things that you should know is that you always have to carry enough change. Before you even open your doors, you make sure that there's change in the till. Because people are going to come with big notes. They're going to come with hundreds, 50s, 20s, whatever. And you're telling me You're telling me you don't have change? And one of the other things that they do when it comes to change, which I really don't like, and it is, if you do that to me, yeah, I will make you go right down to the last peso and give it to me. So you order something, right? And then say you've given them 100 cedi note, and the bill that you have is 25 cedis, 50 pesos, right? So they're supposed to give you, how much is that? I can't do the calculation. They're supposed to give you 74 cedis, 50 pesos change. Now what they'll do is they'll just give you 74 cedis, say, for example, right? I hope is that calculation right? I think so, yeah. So they just give you 74 cedis, right? And then for the most part, a lot of us, we don't look at our change. We just take it and put it in our pocket because we don't value the cedi like that, right? So then if you happen to look at it and you realize that you're 50 pesos short, and you're like, but you're 50 pesos. Sometimes it's not even 50 pesos. Sometimes they'll just give you 70 cedis change. That's how bold they are. And you're like, but the change is not correct. Oh, madam, we don't have enough change to give you. Okay, so you're going to shortchange me? Like, how does that compute? You cannot shortchange me. In fact, you're the one who should lose. You're the one who should then say, you know what? Because I don't have the 50 pesos to give you, I'm giving you 75 or I'm giving you 80 because of that. Bad, we don't have the change. That's nice. Okay, cool, no problem. But you can't just shortchange someone and just think that it's your God-given right, like the person won't care. That's stealing. That's stealing from the person because you don't have permission to do that. You're just doing it because you feel like, well, the person can probably afford it. No, it doesn't work like that. That's not how you do it. Give people the correct change. So the president is completely correct in bringing up this whole thing of, I don't have change. Go and figure it out. Many times if you do it, I'll tell you, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? What do you want us to do? I actually learned that from one of my, sorry, my nose is going. I actually learned that from one of my dad's friends. When I first came to Ghana, he was teaching us about the culture and how things are here. One of his favorite phrases when he goes places, restaurants or anywhere like that, is he would always say, if there's a problem, he would tell them, so what do you want me to do about it? So me too, now I use it. He's passed away now. But yeah, so now I've adopted that attitude. When I go places and they want to bring, if the problem is theirs and they want to bring it to me, I'll tell you, so what do you want me to do about it? And it's so funny to see their face because they don't expect that response. I always tell them, so what do you want me to do about it? So then we have this staring off thing. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I want you to think about it. It's not my issue. It's your issue to go and find the change. Go and find the change. If you have to go to a nearby shop or you have to go ask amongst your people that you work with to get the change, go and bring the change, work it out. Don't expect me to ask the people that I'm with, oh, guys, can we try and solve this amongst ourselves? No, I'm not doing all of that. That's too much. I didn't come out to do that. That's your job. Figure it out. He goes on to say that, until people reform from some of these habits, it's going to be very hard for people to come and really enjoy Ghana. It's going to be very difficult to really attract tourists in the way that we should. Honestly, I feel like Ghana could pull in a lot more tourists than what they have been doing or what they have done in the past, because Ghana has so many advantages. Ghana is a very easy place to move to, right? First of all, if you don't speak the local language, you can come here, speak English, and you're not going to have issues in that sense, right? You can pretty much move around. Ghana is the gateway to a lot of other African countries, and so we should be cleaning up. Ghana should be cleaning up financially in that sense. Without taking advantage of people, but they should be able to be the forefront. Ghana should be a lot more developed. Ghana should not have money issues to the extent that they have money issues if we can attract the right amount of tourism. But because we're not doing certain things right, it puts people off. People come for short periods and now I'm moving to the next African country just because they haven't been able to get the level of service that they wanted to. And so Ghana really needs to fix up on some of those things. And it's a shame that it takes the president to have to address it before people will perhaps listen. That's if people are still going to listen, I don't know. But I really hope that people will listen, and I'm really glad that he said it. because it needed to be said. It really needed to be said, and it needed to come from the top, because people don't take it seriously. They don't understand how much your one restaurant that you think maybe doesn't contribute does actually give everywhere a negative stigma, and how it does affect the economy, because it only takes one or two to spoil the broth. That's how it is, whether we like it or not. And so, yeah, we need to fix that up. And, you know, if we want to keep complaining that, oh, people are coming in and, you know, taking jobs away from us, pushing out our local businesses, then you have to do better. You have to do better. That's why I said we can't be mad at these foreigners that come in and build businesses and are taken away from local Ghanaians or Ghanaians that are trying to run businesses here, because they're doing a better job. And that's all people want. They just want someone who's going to do a better job. And if we're not providing that, somebody else will. That's the nature of business. If you can't give the people what they want, somebody else will. And that is the long and short of it, really. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up the video there. Let me know what you think about what I've said in the comment section. Let me know what you think about what the president said. And let's continue to talk. Don't forget, I've opened up my consultations. If you are looking to do a one-to-one consultation with me because you are thinking about moving to Ghana, send me an email to dela@moretodela.com. And also, the Diaspora Business Hub is also open. If you have a business here in Ghana and you want to be showcased, make sure you head over. There is a link in the description box. Head over, fill out those details, and we will go from there. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, I am out. Nutifafa.